This edition of Crime Reports and Rewards is brought to you by Dr. Louis Gangarosa's Orally for instant relief of sore mouth, teeth, and lips. www.oraleaf.com or call 706-294-4343. William Goolsby Heavy Equipment, land clearing, driveways, and landscaping. Call 803-257-6734. And All-American Training and Safety Consultants. Certified training in industrial, construction safety, personal protection equipment, fall and fire protection, respiratory protection, material handling and storage, electrical lockout tagouts, machinery and machine guarding, forklifts, cranes, and hoist training. Call us at 706-799-1157. Call them and tell them you appreciate them bringing you one of America's fastest growing crime shows. The stories you are about to see are real. The rewards up to $5 million are real. This is Crime Reports and Rewards with Griff Griffin and Dave Michaels, where you stay anonymous, the criminals don't.
The Augusta Chronicle's Doug Stutzman reports a suspect is sought after an armed robbery at a, wait for it, Dollar General. Oh, who'd have thunk it? They'd rob a Dollar General. No, don't say it so. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office was investigating an armed robbery late Tuesday on Sandbar Ferry Road. Yes, that one. About 10 p.m., deputies responded to the Dollar General at 101 Sandbar Ferry Road in reference to a stolen vehicle. The unknown suspect, who was still being sought at 10:30 p.m., pointed a firearm at a victim and then stole a 2000s model white Infiniti. A description of the suspect was not provided. Let's see, Sandbar Ferry Road, East Boundary. Who could it be? If you think you know who this suspect is or where this suspect may be, please call the Richmond County Sheriff's Office at 706-821-1000. If they do a police report and a press release that says that a Crime Reports and Rewards tipster led them to this car thief, you will get paid. If you've watched Crime Reports and Rewards for any time, you'll notice that sometimes you find out the news up to a year before it happens. In many of these cases, we've shared with you, especially on the mass murders and the Islamic terror, what was going to happen 2 or 3 years ahead of the mass murders and the Islamic terror. This week, we were about a week ahead of everyone else, letting you know that a Augusta Chronicle poster who posts on the Augusta Chronicle comments page, AF Joe, reported on 10/13 at 12:18 p.m. that the rumor was that the older brother killed the younger brother, repeat rumor only, killer on the run, in a shooting that occurred in Thompson, where a 16-year-old black male was shot on Gus Street. Here's the news report that came out, and the authorities have confirmed. But first, WRDW came out with Thompson police officers and GBI agents say they're searching for the brother of a murder victim. According to a news release, the GBI plans to charge Quintarius Hampton, 21, with murder for killing Santravian Darius Cartledge, 16, at a home Monday night. Thompson police tell News 12 they were called to the house on the 400 block of Gus Street around 10:30 p.m. Officers called in GBI agents to assist with the investigation about 30 minutes later. Right now, there is no word on a motive for the deadly shooting. In a news release, GBI agents said Cartledge went to University Hospital in McDuffie after being shot. He died at the hospital. Investigators are taking Cartledge's body to the GBI Crime Lab in Decatur, Georgia for an autopsy. If you know where police may find Quintarius Hampton, please call 706-595-2166 or 706-595-2575. If the police do a press release saying a crime reports and rewards tipster's tip leads to the arrest of Quintarius Hampton, you will be paid. If you've been listening to the media lately, you may have heard WJPF News Channel 6 or other local TV talk about the police chief of Burnettown, South Carolina, being fired by the city. Here's the press release that the city of Burnettown released regarding firing their police chief, David Smith. The mayor immediately called a meeting of the mayor pro tem and the chief of police to discuss the email. During that meeting, Chief Smith told them that he could not continue working for the town under the current administration because of what he termed unlawful and unethical activities. He offered to leave town employment and not report any of the matters he believed were unlawful or unethical if council would pay him 6 months severance pay and insurance. Chief Smith's offer not to report what he believed was unlawful activity in exchange for a payment raised serious concerns, and the mayor and mayor pro tem immediately placed him on administrative leave with pay. It concluded it could not work with the police chief, who stated that for a price he would not report violations of the law, and so on. So on October 9, they advised the chief it was in the best interest of the town that it sever its relationship with him. With respect to the specific alleged unlawful, unethical matters, Chief Smith raised the mayor and pro tem has reviewed them and determined that these matters are neither illegal nor unethical, but are the type of things that are not uncommon in a small town with only a few employees. For example, former Mayor Benson volunteered to assist the town in grading a field using the town's backhoe. While doing the work, he moved 2 railroad ties that had to be moved to an area that was eroding. Mayor Dix used a public works decal on his personal vehicle while conducting work for the town so that any resident who saw the truck would know he was there on town business. The mayor also has periodically reassigned employees when he thought it necessary, something that as mayor he has authority to do. Finally, the chief disagreed with the Sassafras Committee's decision to allow alcohol to be served on town property during the Sassafras Festival and refused to sign the required permit. While the chief is entitled to his opinion, it is not illegal for the town to serve alcohol on town premises if it has obtained a permit to do so, which they did. The mayor and council want to assure the citizens of Burnettown that the decision to terminate Chief Smith had nothing to do with his report of alleged wrongdoing. The mayor has had many conversations with the chief over this past months, and they sometimes disagreed. The chief himself told the mayor and mayor pro tem on October 2nd he could no longer work for the town, and they agreed. Now, of course, Crime Reports and Rewards is always going to have the rest of the story that you will never hear anywhere else. We received a report today from an individual driving through Burnettown who says that they were pulled over by Police Chief David Smith, and that Police Chief David Smith told the suspect, quote unquote, that if he would give him half of the fine amount in cash, that Police Chief David Smith would let the violator go. Now, that is a completely unconfirmed report that we received in our correspondence from all of you wonderful people who write into us all the time and watch Crime Reports and Rewards and follow us on our Crime Reports and Rewards Facebook page. We don't know if Police Chief David Smith actually told someone that he pulled over that if he would, this is the amount of the fine, you give me half of that fine and you can go. We don't know if that's true. But we did receive correspondence from someone claiming that it's true. So that's what we have. If you'd like to go to our Facebook page, Crime Reports and Rewards, and look up this article and post anything, if you've been driving through Vernon Town or any other location and a police officer has pulled you over and said, look, this is the fine amount, it's $1,000. Let's just say as an example, it's $1,000 for what you're doing wrong here. You give me $500 or you give me $400, you give me $300, whatever. And you can go. If you've had a situation like that come up, contact us through our Facebook page at Crime Reports and Rewards and send it to us on a private mail, and we'll look into it. Otherwise, it's just rumor. We don't know if it's true. Don't go running around saying that we said it. Someone sent it to us, and we're just telling you what was sent to us. Go to our Facebook page, let us know what you think. We appreciate you viewing and watching Crime Reports and Rewards on TV and on Facebook. County Sheriff's Deputies Lieutenant Alan Rollins and Sergeant Michael Shane McDaniel report in the early morning hours of October 9, 2015, Leon Hopkins Jr. was slain in the River Ridge apartment complex located at 505 13th Street, Augusta, Georgia. Leon Hopkins Jr. was hanging out with some friends, one Leon Shepard, who was also injured in this incident when an unknown suspect started shooting, striking them both and killing Leon Hopkins Jr. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office is requesting your assistance in identifying the person that shot Leon Shepard and murdered Leon Hopkins Jr. A reward of up to $1,000 is being offered for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for this murder. Anyone with information on this case is asked to contact the Richmond County Sheriff's Office at 706-821-1020 or 706-821-1080. Please refer to Richmond County Sheriff's Office case number 2015-38-86-47. All information can be handled confidentially. Now for some Crime Reports and Rewards background information that may shed light on the shooting. We're not absolutely certain yet, but we have a rumor going around that young kids and older drug dealers in the Southeast are being killed as cartels move into the territory. Cartels are setting up young kids with a lot of drugs to deal, and the old drug dealers are shooting the young kids that are moving in on their turf. This turf war may be the reason why you're seeing a lot of older drug dealers shooting younger kids or younger drug dealers shooting older drug dealers. This warfare has been going on for quite a while out west and has appeared to be quite active in Atlanta and Columbia. Recent murders of younger kids here in the CSRA indicate the drug cartels are moving into the CSRA. And the rumor is that they will either begin working for the cartels or somebody will die. Boy, does a local armed robber wish the concealed carrier that killed him as he robbed a Waffle House knew all Waffle Houses are a shoot fish in a barrel, gun-free zone.
Two masked men entered a Waffle House in Chesney about 1 o'clock in the morning and ordered the customers inside to the floor, the employees to the back room. Sheriff Wright says one of those customers had a concealed weapons permit. He says he then pulled his gun and told the two men to wait for cops to show up. The sheriff says one of the robbers, 19-year-old Dante Williams, then turned his gun toward the diner, and that's when the customer shot and killed Williams.
This is another example of how a CWP may save your life. And it's very unfortunate that a 19-year-old young man lost his life over this. There's no question about it. We're not celebrating that we lost a 19-year-old young man that lived right here in this county. But I am thankful that nobody else was hurt.
And according to the coroner, Williams turned 19 today. Wright says the second robber managed to get away after struggling with the customer. The man who shot Williams will not face any charges because he was acting in self-defense. If you have any information on the other suspected robber, you can call Crime Stoppers, and the number right there on your screen, 1-888-CRIME-SC.
They ignored a gun-free zone sign and paid the price.
This story is not an isolated case because of the fact these stories go against the agenda of the gun grabbers. They're ignored by national media and only reported locally. Here are a few of these stories where a good guy with a gun saved the day.
Cape Girardeau County prosecuting attorney Morley Swingle was writing up charges against Ronnie Pryor when he got the word that Pryor had died.
Instead of filing the charges on him, I began a letter to Chief Kennison letting him know that the woman in this case, a 57-year-old woman, is not going to be charged with any sort of crime.
Swingle's letter lays out a harrowing story that begins 5 nights ago when a man breaks into the woman's home through a basement window and rapes her.
She had seen his face and had described these unusual black spots on his face, these blemishes, but she didn't know him. He was a complete stranger.
Cape Girardeau police begin working the case and patrolling the woman's neighborhood. In the meantime, she gets her basement window fixed and borrows a friend's 12-gauge shotgun. Just after midnight on Halloween, the nightmare begins again. The woman hears a car door slam and calls 911.
Once they satisfied her and themselves that nobody was there, they left. She was then watching TV, and at about 2:15 in the morning, suddenly her power went out.
Swingle says Ronnie Pryor had broken back in through the same basement window and cut off the electricity.
She got spooked when her electricity went out. She got a shotgun, and she sat in a chair listening. Then she heard somebody slamming against her basement door in her kitchen, and she went and looked at that kitchen door, and he slammed it a second time and actually broke through it. And as he's coming through, she shot him. He went down, and then she then ran out her front door with the shotgun in her hand, got to a neighbor's and was pounding on the door, screaming for help.
Officers arrived in seconds to find Pryor stumbling through the victim's backyard. He died at a local hospital 7 hours later.
Rape conviction, got a 10-year prison sentence in November of 1989.
Morley Swingle calls Ronnie Pryor a career criminal with 11 felony arrests and 5 convictions. Having just fought to protect Missouri's new rules on sex offenders and Halloween, Swingle sees the bizarre timing of this already closed case.
If Ronnie Pryor had pulled off what he intended to pull off, it would have been a registered sex offender raping a woman on Halloween. It's just that she had taken steps to make sure it wasn't going to happen to her again by notifying the police department, by asking for the extra patrols, and by arming herself with a gun.
Winter Haven police searched for clues into what happened at this home early in the morning. Neighbors, though, had heard enough to come to a conclusion.
If this guy would have stayed home, he'd have been alive right now, you know.
Investigators say a break-in turned deadly when a family opened fire on the intruder.
That's the way that I would react. You know, I'd hate to do that. I'd hate to shoot anybody, but if it comes to me or them, I would.
Detectives say the Pena family, a mother, father, and adult son, woke up to the sound of someone trying to get into their home. We're told one of them fired a warning shot as the stranger broke in through a back door.
That warning shot did not deter the intruder. The intruder didn't retreat.
Chief Gary Hester says the man made it to the kitchen and by then, all 3 family members were armed.
It appears that at least 2 of the family members fired in defense of themselves and their property.
The intruder died in the Peña's home. Police say he was not armed, but Chief Hester says it appears the Peñas still might have had every right to fire their weapons.
I mean, that's your castle that reported intruders coming into. So whether he was armed or not armed, when he failed to retreat, they certainly had a right, if it turns out to be this way, would have a right to defend themselves.
And their neighbors couldn't agree more.
I hate the man was shot, and I hate that he died, but, you know, you got to take a stand against this, you know, people that's doing this stuff.
Police make an arrest in a holdup Monday night at a Northside Dollar General store where a customer opened fire and killed one of the robbers. According to investigators, these 2 men, Rakeem Odoms and Andre Campbell, approached the store's manager and demanded money. The customer heard the commotion, confronted the 2 men, and ordered them to drop their guns. Police say Campbell did, Odoms did not. The customer, whose name has not been made public, shot Odoms 3 times. Odom's mother and Campbell's girlfriend talked with Channel 4's Haley Winslow.
This is a fake gun. It's an airsoft gun, the same type of airsoft gun police say the robbers used to hold up the Dollar General. We now know who police say robbed the Dollar General Monday night. 22-year-old Rakeem Odoms and 19-year-old Andre Campbell. JSO says they went up to the counter at the Dollar General with airsoft guns and demanded money from the manager. When a customer with a concealed weapons permit and a .45 caliber on him saw what was going on.
He was in a business, shopping, minding his own business, but he put himself in harm's way by getting involved. To me, that's an extraordinary person to do that.
The customer drew his gun and ordered them to put theirs down. Detectives say Odoms did not, and the customer shot him 3 times, killing him.
Andre Campbell dropped his weapon, stood up. The citizen ordered him to, don't go anywhere. He jumped the counter and ran out the front door.
But police say a family member turned Campbell in, and he's now facing armed robbery, burglary, and felony murder in the death of his accomplice.
I'm not mad about what, to the other person that was involved. I'm not mad. And God has the last say-so to everything. And right now, he's holding me up and keeping me strong, and I thank God for the support and the family.
Family members of both men couldn't believe they would be involved in such a crime.
Very intelligent, hilarious. Everybody loved him. He, just real funny and had a lot of friends. And, I just don't believe, can't believe it took place, and it happened, but things happen and we make bad choices. And sometimes we have to deal with bad consequences.
Love his son to death. Do anything for his son, do anything for his girlfriend. He just made bad choices, that's all.
Detectives are just grateful the criminals were stopped before anyone else was hurt. Police believe these 2 men were involved in other recent robberies in Jacksonville. Haley Winslow, Channel 4, the local station.
Between the devastating mass shootings in Colorado and what happened over the weekend at a Sikh temple, there was another shooting you may not have heard about. But this was, by every account, a true Texas shootout where a good Samaritan armed with a gun is credited with saving a police officer's life. Reporter Kevin Reese has the story.
That's right here. And I was shooting right through there, just like that right there.
His name is Vic Stacy. The video is a bit fuzzy, but his story is as sharp and clear as his dead aim. He lives in early Texas, about 2 hours southwest of Fort Worth, at a place called the Peach House RV Park, where his neighbor Charles Connor lost his mind. Connor shot and killed 2 neighbors in a dispute over their dogs, killed the dogs too, then started shooting at police when they raced to the scene.
I'm at the station trying to help an officer out.
What Vic Stacy did was pull out his own .357 pistol. The officer couldn't get a good shot, but Stacy could from at least 150 feet away.
And I thought, he's fixing to kill that boy. And that's when I squared off and hit him in the leg and knocked him down. I saw him turn the gun around toward my direction, and I saw him throw another one in the chamber, and he took a shot at me. And that's when I put 4 more in him.
Stacy dropped his neighbor with 4 shots. The officer hit the suspect twice.
Anytime you're going to take someone's life, it's not an easy situation. Just the main consolation on this is I think he helped save the officer's life and keep him from driving into an ambush more or less.
But Vic Stacy says he's no hero, doesn't want any accolades for killing a neighbor, doesn't want any more reporters calling his house.
So, that's the way it is.
and live with the praise of every cop in West Texas. Kevin Reese, KHOU, 11 News.
Hysteria at a Smith's in downtown Salt Lake City this evening. A man with a knife stabs two people inside the grocery store. Another man with a gun plays cops. He stops the gunman, or rather the knife-wielding man, from hurting more innocent people. It was breaking news that we first reported at 6, and now the night team's Don Hudson joins us live in Salt Lake City with more on this real-life drama. Don?
Police say the suspect purchased a knife inside the downtown Smith store and then turned it into a weapon.
And then he pulled it out and just stepped right outside the Smiths, right in between the foyer, and just started stabbing people and yelling, you killed my people, you killed my people.
Within seconds, the knife-wielding man seriously injured two people.
There was blood all over. One got stabbed in his stomach and one he got stabbed in his head, and he held his hands. He got stabbed all over his arms.
Then, before the suspect could find another victim, a citizen with a gun stopped the madness.
A guy pulled a gun on him and told him to drop his weapon or he would shoot him. So he dropped his weapon, and then the people from Smith's got him.
And officers had high praise for the gun-carrying man who ended the hysteria.
This was a really volatile situation that could have gotten even worse. I mean, we can only assume that, judging from what we saw, it could have gotten a lot worse. So he was definitely in the right place at the right time.
Dozens of other shoppers who too could have become victims are also thankful and still in shock from the experience.
Scary, actually. It's really scary. 5 minutes before I walk out to my car, and it could have been me.
These are only a few examples. These type things happen every day. After all, the only thing to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun.
If you've watched previous editions of Crime Reports and Rewards, you'll remember that a Leo's daughter, that's a law enforcement officer's daughter from Aiken County Sheriff's Office, by the name of Ashley Wilson, stole the keys to my Mercedes AMG, then stole my AMG and was caught red-handed in the stolen AMG with two other warrants on her. Before and since that time, we found out that Ashley Wilson has been reported to have just walked into homes in Aiken County where her father is a Leo for the Aiken County Sheriff's Office. She goes wherever she thinks people have placed their car keys and takes them, then steals their car or truck. When she's pulled over, she shows the keys to the officer and says, "They gave me the car. See, I have their keys." So far, no police agency will accept a written, sworn statement of her stealing a car from the crime victim. We left messages with the Aiken County Sheriff's Office for her father before we located my stolen AMG, but he doesn't want anything to do with her either and has never returned our calls. Well, that's all we know because he won't return our call. She also hollows out light bulbs to be used as meth pipes, and if she leaves one in your property or in your car, you may go to jail, not her. If you've been a victim of Ashley Wilson's meth-free crime spree, please call the police. If a press release says a CrimeReportsAndRewards.com tip led to the arrest, you will be paid.
This edition of Crime Reports and Rewards is brought to you by Dr. Louis Gangarosa's Orally, for instant relief of sore mouth, teeth, and lips. www.oraleaf.com or call 706-294-4343. William Gouldsby Heavy Equipment, land clearing, driveways, and landscaping. Call 803-257-6734. And All-American Training and Safety Consultants. Certified training in industrial, construction safety, personal protection equipment, fall and fire protection, respiratory protection, material handling and storage, electrical lockout tagouts, machinery and machine guarding, forklifts, cranes, and hoist training. Call us at 706-799-1157. Call them and tell them you appreciate them bringing you one of America's fastest growing crime shows. You've been watching Crime Reports and Rewards with Griff Griffin and Dave Michaels, where you stay anonymous. The criminals don't.